Lesson 19 is about symbols for multiplication and multiplying and dividing fractions. And when we look at this first problem, what we want to do is we want to simplify. We have two terms. The first is 4/9 and the second is 5/7. And this dot means we need to multiply. Whenever you see a dot between terms or numbers, it means to multiply. So what we want to do here when we multiply fractions is we're going to multiply across the top and we're going to multiply across the bottom. Then we'll see if we can reduce. So let's go ahead and find out what our answer is. We're going to multiply across the top. So we have 4 times 5. 4 times 5 must be 20. And in the denominator, the bottom, we have 9 times 7. And 9 times 7 is 63. Now for this problem, we can't cut them both in half because one is odd. We can't divide by 3 because 20 is not divisible by 3. It's not divisible by 5, not divisible by 7, and 63 was the one not divisible by 5, and 63 is not divisible by 10. We can't simplify this any further. We're all done. We've got our final answer, and we'll go ahead and report it like this, 20/63. Let's move on to our next example. Now in this problem we have 2/3 to the third power. And you'll see this written like this more commonly with the 3 up a little bit higher in the exponent. So it might look more like this as you see it in your textbook. Okay, it's a little bit clearer that that's our power or our exponent. And what this means is we're going to multiply 2/3 by itself 3 times. So 2/3 times 2/3 times 2/3. Now we need to go through the multiplication. We have 2 times 2, which is 4. And 4 times 2, which is 8. So we get 8 as our numerator over 3 times 3, which is 9, and 9 times 3, which is going to be equal to 27. So we get 8/27. We've got our final answer. We can go ahead and box it. We can't reduce that anymore. We're all done. Let's look at our next one. We use a different color. We'll use red now. Let's simplify. 4/9 times 18 over 30. Now for this problem, I want you to tell me, what is 4 times 18? If you didn't know right off the top of your head, that's okay. Tell me, what is 9 times 30? Okay, if you didn't know that one right away, that's okay as well. Because what we want to do when we simplify, when we multiply fractions, is to try to reduce before we multiply, or simplify before you multiply. So if we look at this problem and we had to rearrange where our numerators were and our denominators were, we could say, well, what is 18 over 9? So we're just switching where the 18 would be. Remember, multiplication order doesn't matter, so we could do this. 18 over 9, well, if we divide both by 9, we're going to get 2 over 1. So we can do the same thing here. Instead of 18 over 9, we get 2 over the 1, because 18 is twice as big as 9. So we've got our 1 here, we've got our 2 here. Now we can look at what happens to 4 and 30. Well, they're both even numbers. We can cut them both in half. We can get a 2 and we can get a 15. Let's circle all the numbers that are new now that we're going to multiply. What we're going to look for is to see if we can simplify any further. 2 over 1, we can't simplify that. And, well, 15 is never going to go into 2, or 2 is never going to go into 15, not evenly at least. So we've got what will be our final answer when we multiply. We have 2 times 2, that's 4. 1 times 15 is 15. The multiplication was a lot easier because we simplified before we multiplied. We know, since we've simplified fully first, that we can't reduce our answer at all. We've got our answer of 4/15. Okay, let's move on to this problem. We're going to say 21/6 divided by 27/4. Now we know division is the opposite or inverse operation to multiplication. So in order to divide fractions, we're going to have to do the opposite thing that we did before. We've got a 3-step process. That 3-step process, the first one is copy. The second step is a dot. And the third step is a flip. So copy dot flip is the way that we'll say that. So what we want to do for our first step, we want to copy. So we're going to copy everything out. We're going to copy the first part, 21/6. The second step, we want a dot. So we're going to have a dot instead of a division sign. So we're going to have 21/6 times. And the third step is to flip. So we're going to flip the third part. So we're going to get 21/6 times 4 27ths. That's because we found the reciprocal of 27/4. We're flipping. Now we're doing the opposite of division, which is multiplication by the reciprocal, and we can find our answer. Let's rewrite up here so we have room to write. 21/6 times 4 27ths. Let's simplify before we multiply. We know 4 and the 6. They can both be cut in half. So we're going to get a 2 and a 3. Okay, if we look at what else we can simplify. Well, we can simplify 21 and 27. They're both divisible by 3. 21 divided by 3 is 7. And 27 divided by 3 is 9. So now we're looking at this problem. It looks a lot easier. Let's see if we can simplify any more. Well, 3 never goes into 7. 2 never goes into 3. 7 never goes into 9. 2 never goes into 9. We can't simplify any further. So now we can find our answer. 7 times 2, that's easy, 14. 3 times 9, again, that's easy. We've got 27. We've got our final answer. Our final answer for this division problem with fractions is going to be 14/27. The key here is that we used our copy dot flip method, and then we simplified before we multiplied. We'll practice these concepts some more with our lesson practice on page 68. Make sure you've got your notes completed, and I'll see you during our next class.